an articulate voice from the Volta region who has evolved from the lecture halls of the University of Ghana, well, to the commanding floor of Parliament, to now a Minister of State. From the plains of the Oti region to the prestigious halls of Parliament, he has worn many hats. Political organizer, a teacher, national organizer of the NDC, member of Parliament for Boem constituency, a statesman whose calm demeanor bellies a razor-sharp political intellect and whose passion for people-driven development continues to define his leadership. He was born on the 2nd of May. It means that his birthday is just around the corner, 1975, in Teteman, Jasikan, district of the Oti region. Went to the University of Ghana, began his career as a tutor at the Saddle College, before serving as a spokesperson and director of public affairs for former President Jerry John Rawlings. He has served the NDC in various capacities, including as Deputy General Secretary and later National Organizer, playing a key role as campaign coordinator for the party in the 2016 elections. He was elected as Member of Parliament for the Boem constituency in 2020 and re-elected in 2024. This is a man who served on the Public Accounts Committee and the Defense and Interior Committee in Parliament. February 2025, he was sworn in as Ghana's Minister of Sports and Recreation, becoming the 27th person to hold the office since 1979. Our guest is known for his advocacy for sports, no doubt, especially boxing. He brings wealth of experience and a passion for national development to every role that he undertakes. And I know what I'm saying. This is a passionate man. Whether taking a stand on the floor of Parliament or articulating the party stance on airwaves across the country. And I must say, I miss him on political discussions on radio and television. Those were the days, because he brings clarity, conviction, and credibility. This evening, we are privileged right here on Starr FM, and of course, across our affiliates, to open the vote of leadership, loyalty, and legacy. I call them the 3 L's, with the former national organizer of the National Democratic Congress. He's a strategist whose footprints can be traced across some of the party's most defining campaign moments. A former teacher, political communicator, well, I say he embodies a blend of theory, activism, and public service. Our guest, none other than Honorable Kofi Adams, right here on Star Chat. Kofi, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Bola.
How are you doing?
Well, after this massive introduction,
right,
I don't know whether to say anything or just say thank you. So
I think your microphone, so we'll just adjust it and we'll use this one. Yes. Can you hear us? Is it better now? Okay, so you can go ahead.
I should say that
right.
After this great and wonderful intro, I don't know whether to say anything again. I'll just say thank you for this great publicity, and let me go sleep so I don't say anything to spoil.
Honorable, you deserve it all.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're most welcome.
Thank you.
This is the man that we're celebrating tonight. But you know what? We're actually going to go behind the scenes and find out what drives the man behind the calm voice and calculated moves. Like I said, you're a strategist. So tonight, we'll get into your life. A lot more to be said right here. And we're also live in Kumasi on Ultimate 106.9 FM. We're also live in Sekondi Takrady on Empire 102.7 FM, and it's brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Star Assurance and Compute Ghana. Thank you very much. My name is Bola Ray, and I'm happy to be here. So let me just, get to you, Kofi Adams. How have you been? I know you've been in the news for some time now. You've been busy with a lot of activities. Tell me, how have you been, sincerely?
Well, I should say I'm okay.
You are?
Generally. Even though my most current assignment,
right,
I was told by His Excellency when he was giving me the marching orders that he didn't envy me at all.
Oh, the president told you that?
Yeah, he told me that on the day he swore us in, that he didn't envy me at all. And I knew the challenge I was getting into. But thank God that my political life and activity have been modeled around engaging a lot of these persons that may make your work either difficult or smooth. And so I did calculate how to go about dealing with the situations that will confront us. And one other assurance His Excellency the President gave me was that he was going to be with me and by me.
What an assurance.
If you have such an assurance from the number one gentleman, then you know that yours is just to make sure that you get the best out.
Right.
So I went into my job knowing that I have that solid assurance from His Excellency the President, and I should not disappoint him.
Wow. I can see that you love it at the sports ministry. You've been active, like you said, and you are into it. But how's the job treating you thus far?
Well, I'll say that the job has been good. It's been good, but it's challenging, but it's been good. I love challenging and tough things.
Okay.
That has always been me.
Did it ever cross your mind when the president said, look, Kofi Adams, I think that you are well cut for this position? Did you say, well, maybe this is just challenging and you consider not taking it? Did it cross your mind sincerely?
At a point it did.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. It was a tough one. A few persons engaged and said, look, we know you. Maybe we know you possibly better than you know yourself.
Wow.
And we think at this moment you are the best person for this job. So if you have colleagues and seniors telling you this, then there's no other reason but to just accept and go, because they're telling you like, look, it's as if you are underrating yourself. Okay.
Wow.
So why should you be afraid that, oh, you may not have been involved deeply in sports as many others have done, and so therefore, why sports? There are many other areas you think you should, but I think that's one thing I can see President Mahama have. Identifying and putting talents that you may not even know you have.
So you have no regret accepting His Excellency's, offer? Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
Strong conviction, yes.
Very, very convinced about it that I have no regret now. And I think he made
the right choice.
The right choice.
Did you ever think about it that you become sports minister in his administration?
No.
What were you rooting for? I mean, you knew that, yes, you get an appointment, but where were you eyeing, sincerely?
Let's leave.
Oh, so you had a ministry in mind?
Let not that be part of the conversation. I knew.
Yes.
I would surely be in government.
Okay.
That I knew.
That you knew.
That I knew.
Okay.
I would surely be in government.
Right.
But sports was not one of the places I ever thought.
Sports wasn't. Wow.
If President Mahama was going to consider me.
Okay, give us 3 places that, not just narrow it down to one, but 3 places that you thought, okay, that is where I might be going. Because you knew you were going to be in government.
If I'm going to give you 3 places,
yes,
then I make a mistake of mentioning a particular one, and they will say that is...
No, not in any particular order. So just 3 places.
Well, I'll not even mention it.
You want to play it safe?
I want to play it safe.
Okay, but you know what? Honorable, we knew about your nomination. We broke the news here on Starr FM on GH1.
That's true.
We called you. You flatly denied it. Less than 24 hours later, it was confirmed. Are you saying that at the time you genuinely had no idea that you had been nominated as sports minister?
You see, when you are to be offered a job and that job has not appeared on the green paper,
So at the time you had not received your green paper.
The green paper has not been released. You can't go accepting and confirming that you have been given something that hasn't appeared on the
But
green
you are
paper.
ahead.
Oh, of course. But you can't go confirming that this is the case. You have to deny flatly.
That is a wise thing to do.
Yeah, because until it is done.
Right.
What if the president changes his mind? What happens?
Wow.
So it was clear at that time, though I knew that this was what was going to happen. You would have to wait till it's put on the green paper.
Right.
And that green paper has been signed, not the unsigned one.
Oh, some people received green papers that were not signed.
Well, if it's been written, typed,
yes, and it's there.
It's not been signed. You think that because it's been typed and it's on the table, it will be signed. What if it's not signed?
Okay. So you played it safe. You wanted to receive.
Sometimes it may even be signed. But
and
if it's not been released, you must be careful.
Interesting. That's why we call you the strategist, because you will get into it and you want to wait and get hold of that green paper. That is when you can safely confirm
that you have been
nominated.
This.
Yes.
Some will want to even push the appointor by even announcing ahead to force him
to appoint
or her to appoint them. So
okay. Oh, people do that.
people do that.
Wow.
So that is why sometimes you get rumors of this one is going here
Yes.
or has been penciled here, or someone is holding on to
And-
my
and it doesn't
appointment
happen.
letter. It doesn't happen.
Wow.
And it doesn't happen.
Okay. Okay.
And so
Interesting.
people try to use all kinds of means to lobby for but I choose the other way of waiting, because the truth was that I was quite sure that President Mahama will find space for
In his
me
government.
in his government.
Okay.
That I was. That he
Did he
surely
give you a
found.
wind of that when you were campaigning? Did he at any point in time tell you that, well, not the particular ministry or area, but you definitely be part of his government?
Well, when he came to the Othi region to campaign, my constituency was Lasbeth 1 that he visited.
Okay.
So he had gone to 7 other constituencies before he came to my constituency. And because the programs is usually live on various platforms, people follow and monitor what it is that the flag bearer sees. It was in my constituency, he made a statement that, look, Oyeminia Kitwa, my younger brother, to it.
Right.
And Yenimino, na Yebenyano, Mumu Yenise, Muntuaba Mano, na Yebenyano, Yaben.
Right.
So he assured my people, clearly so, that all they should do is to vote for me and he will have me in his government.
Wow.
But beyond that, there have been other engagement. I can only talk to the public one, and I can say about what.
But certainly when he gave you the marching orders, tell us the number one thing that the president wants you to do at the sports ministry before we come to your plan and vision.
Well, clearly, the president wanted sports to be considered as sports and not just football. The president knows that sports is beyond football. Football is considered, yes, the greatest, well structured, well organized, and so on and so forth. But there are many other sporting disciplines that Ghana as a country has huge potential. Talents abound. And what the president wanted is an opportunity to make sure that you open and give these talents to excel to the level that it will be useful to the person that God has given them the talent and the country and community they belong.
Wow.
So
what a vision.
This is what the president truly wanted. He equally also wanted the situation of an active society. And so he didn't want you to go in there and only focus on sports in terms of competitive sports for the excellence of it.
He's thinking about the health and well-being.
The health and well-being of the people.
Interesting.
So that was why
he added recreation to the sports. It's not like recreation has never been part of sports, but it has never been given the kind of attention that it should be given. But he thought, let me bring the name out and let it be out there so that a certain focus could be given it.
Wow.
So the well-being of the people, because he feels, if you look at the budget allocation to the health ministry for healthcare, some of this could drastically be reduced if we have an active lifestyle.
That's right.
There are a number of non-communicable diseases that we spend so much on just because we don't make time to be a little active,
Okay.
a little walking, a little jogging, a little play here
That's
and
right.
there will make you a little active and correct certain things in your system. And when COVID, a communicable disease, happened, one of the things we kept hearing, those who were managing the situation, was that persons with underlying conditions suffered more and were likely to die when infected than those who didn't have underlying conditions. What were these underlying conditions? Most of them were non-communicable situations. Blood pressure, this, that, this, sugar, and so on and so forth. Things that when you are active, you can manage. So it tells you that when you are active, it is not only the non-communicable diseases that you will be eliminating, but even when the communicable ones come,
Your system should be able to fight it.
your system is able to fight.
Wow. That means that, Honorable Minister for Sports and Recreation, you should be working hand in hand with the health minister.
Sure.
Because that's because you don't look at cure, you're looking at preventing it. That is a very great way to take.
Yeah.
Interesting. And with that, how do you then balance attention between football and other less publicized, or like we say, lesser known sports, athletics, arm wrestling, boxing, golf, basketball? Are you prioritizing this time around?
So, well, what I've tried to do is that where the political head of every sector go, the news will come out from there. So, even as I work to mobilize resources in terms of funds, money, and other things to push into those areas, one key way to doing it is showing interest in those activities when they are doing them. So don't only appear at the pitches where football is being played. If arm wrestling is doing something, find time and be there.
That's right.
If some persons decide to put their time and money behind a sport that is otherwise not really funded, you, the minister, who is the political head, find time and be there.
Honorable Kofi Adams, by this, are we getting the sense from you that many of these activities or lesser known sports, you personally will be there, like beach soccer, basketball, athletics, you are going to make a conscious decision?
Exactly what I mean.
I love that.
And so that people who are placing their time, their, let me put it, the little resources that they have into a sport that they feel a lot of people don't pay attention to. By your presence, the media may come along, they will give report, and they would also begin to get some eyeballs.
Are we going to work with the private sector? Because we've seen people now putting up astroturfs, and it's for healthy living and lifestyle. After work, people will engage. People are setting up fit clubs and all of that. Is it something that the government is going to do, a PPP, a private, public partnership? Can we consider that?
As if you were in my mind.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was coming to. Because, look, sports funding is never a government alone thing. Sports must be seen for me as a social intervention also. It should not initially be seen as a commercial enterprise where you put in this and you expect to get this immediately.
Right.
Like you want to fry koliko, you go and buy yam, you buy oil, you fill your gas, and you spend some time. So after frying it, maybe it costs you so much. You say buying and selling.
You mark it up.
You mark it up,
you
and
get
then
your profit.
you want profit.
No.
Sports should be seen first and foremost as social intervention. Then, as you do this social intervention continually, it gets to a point where now it becomes a profitable venture, because now a lot of persons will get involved. A lot of systems will, the kits that they will use, the many phases of sports will now become very enterprising and could be commercialized.
It seems many entrepreneurs in sports are listening to you. I have the CEO of Oka Deco, Ryan Sharara, saying that they've actually started the paddle courts and paddle clubs. You know, paddle is like, you know, I hope you know that sport. And they've set up some centers. They are looking forward to having a competitive tournament in Ghana, and they want to call on the ministry. So he says that thank you for that. And then also from Robert Coleman, who's the CEO of Wembley Sports, he says that AstroTurfs, and we support the minister. We want to do a lot in these areas. So that's some great news.
So the private sector, especially for me, is the key driver. Is the key driver. So your great platform such as this,
that's right, I
would want to use it to call on them. Those who are doing already, I salute them.
Now you have two investors who are standing by. so that's great. I love that partnership. And you are youthful, you are open-minded, you are ready to do that. In all of this, people are also talking about athletics. Can we bring back the days of intercore, interzonals, and you know, you go to the Accra Sports Stadium between schools, you go to Kumasi, Tamale. Minister, any plans?
If you take boxing out of my life, the next thing I would choose is athletics.
Fantastic.
And so currently a team came to us, they wanting to revive this athletics, and some other media platform have also been doing something. They also came, and we are working together with the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service to do that part also. There's something in Volta and OT that is also happening. Today, another group came to the ministry, and what they want to do is to make sure these activities that will be happening in the small corner is linked to the world. So they will create a platform where anybody anywhere can see any competition that is happening in Ghana as far as athletics and other sports.
Amazing.
Amazing. Amazing. And so we really want to bring back that life. And we don't want to just do it for once. So, for example, in the mind of the president and some of the marching orders that he gave us is to revive school sports. And that he wants us to revive it in all year round activities. So you don't wait for an athlete who has the talent, who has the potential to only train and compete during the period declared for that competition in the school. So if you were, say, a good athlete in, say, 100-meter race, after the competition, you must continue to be given opportunity to train.
Right.
That is the only way that you can better your record.
Do we have the facilities, Honorable Minister?
Well, so that is where, once again, the private sector participation. Government will do its bit, but private sector and all of us as individuals must come on board. And one thing we'll be doing, Bola, is to establish a sports fund. And
the Ministry of Sports is going to establish a sports fund. Oh, interesting.
And this sports fund, just imagine 34 million Ghanaians. All of us decide that a month, I'll put just one CD. That gives you 34 million a month. You can imagine the number of kids.
Some will pay even more.
Some will pay more. The number of kids. Look, I was talking about the Volta Athletics that we've started. When they launched it, some kids who took part were running barefooted. No spikes for them. So you can imagine if we have a sports fund,
Right.
the number of kits we can get for these kids, these young persons, that people will have spikes to run with. Those who are playing football will have boots. You can supply jerseys. You can supply many other things.
How soon is a sports fund, coming to street?
We've done the proposal. We've submitted to cabinet. I'm sure cabinet will give consideration to it. And once cabinet gives its approval in the format that we want to do it, then the bill will be ready to go to parliament. We want to do it in such a way that it will be protected. That the corporate governance around the fund will not just be like a fund that is under the ministry being controlled by the minister who can decide what he wants to do with it. No. There should be some levels of protection, there should be some levels of accountability and transparency. Who benefits from it, how you arrive at those who benefit, it should be very well established.
Right.
So it's not left for the ministry just to decide, and before you see, the fund will be used for all unnecessary things.
So the ministry will not be the chief administrator?
Not at all. Not at all. We want to run it like even better than how Get Fund and others have been done.
Interesting.
So you need to justify continuous support from that fund.
This is a laudable idea, and I believe that if run well, why won't Ghanaians support such an initiative? Yes.
And that's what we want to do. But before we get this fund in place, we want to continue to invite Ghanaians to be contributing, because the sporting activities will not wait for the fund to be established.
Correct.
There are many activities going on now that will need funding. So we are going to do a certain short-term arrangement to be raising funds to support various other sporting activities whilst we work to establish this fund that will have special control and accountability and transparency enshrined in it.
All right then. So Mohamed Sewa and Adjoin Ghana says that great interview, Bola Ray, and kudos to the minister. We hope this is not a mere talk show. The idea of the sports fund will go a long way. I was one time an athlete for Ghana, and I know how this can do. I salute Andrew Owusu and the team at GOC. Okay, so
look, just point to me,
right,
a country that has been up there, known, celebrated, that have not taken sports serious.
True.
Look, even Ghana here, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, when he wanted Ghana to get up there, he used sports. The Americas.
Yes.
Is sports. Look, Germany, when German machine was operating, they were so very highly respected.
That's right.
Economically, they are still doing well, but when their sports go down, they don't. Look at England. When they realized that they were dropping, they sat down, strategized, and established a fund, and they are picking up. Look at France.
That's right.
Look, there is not a single country that you will see up there being mentioned and people wanting to go that have not taken one sport or the other, or many sports seriously. Even Cuba, those times that boxing, until the embargoes and the rest affected them and maybe other things started up. Look at Jamaica. Because they took time, invested in the sprints.
And that is what you want to do. Because it brings excitement. It brings, fulfillment. It brings also some money.
Some money.
Yes.
Look, the recent Black Stars home match that we played.
Yes.
If I tell you the number of persons who made, look,
give us the exclusives. What happened?
They made people who came to me after.
Okay.
And said the sales they made on that day.
So economic activities
boomed. They have never made such sales before. No event has given them that amount of money before. So you can imagine that they can stay even if they don't make any sales for the next 2 months. They were okay.
They said that.
They said that to me.
Wow.
So you can imagine if you do that for many other sports. And today something is happening here, another thing is happening there, athletics here, boxing here, hockey there, beach soccer here, and so on and so forth. All this happening.
So for me, is it not heartbreaking that Ghana hasn't made any meaningful impact at the Olympics in athletics? Because we saw that, and the French embassy supported the Ghana Olympic team, went out there to train and all of that. But what's happening, Minister?
So what it means is that, like I said, we should have an Olympic cycle training. You don't wait till the year, few months to the competition, then you go and get something little, and then they say, oh, go and do some warm up. It should be, if it's a 4-year cycle, start the training very early. Let them go through. Let them partake in other competitions. And don't wait till the last minute. When they do that, they cannot compete with those and win with those who have been training for 4 years. You are going to compete with Usain Bolt. He has been training for 4 years. Has all this, and you train for 4 months. And you think that you're going to outrun? You're going to outrun him? No.
Wow. Then it means that it's leadership, or is it our resources? What is the situation? What is the problem, Minister?
Resource is because when I went to the ministry, it looks like the things I was thinking has been taught of also before, but maybe the drive. And that is why I've been working on to see how I can bring turn Ghana into a corporate Ghana, all of us. The business people, the big corporates, the individuals, the small corporates, the small gobesela at the corner somewhere, all of us can contribute. Because your 1 CD can be put together with others' 1 CD, and your son will be the beneficiary. You, the contributor, your 1 CD can help your son. Right. Your 1 CD cannot buy spike for your son. But your 1 CD, another person's 1 CD, another person's 1 CD put together, we can get 100 CD that can buy spike for your son.
Great thinking.
So I want corporate Ghana to see founding sports as all of us our responsibility.
You know, the last time the Black Stars won the African Cup of Nations was in 1982. I believe you were just 7 years old then. You know, how do you feel about the drought? You had to give a huge sigh of relief.
It's been a difficult thing to really understand why we were celebrating. We have won it this number 4 times. No other nation have done so. We kept celebrating, and they got closer 3 times. Then they equaled, and they have surpassed us, and we are still 4 times. And to the point that the soon to be organized one in December, we will not even be featuring. In Morocco, we will not even be there at all. It's disheartening, and that is why, even though sports, football have gotten the maximum support from the country and many persons, because of where we are, it still must be given some attention to bring us to where we ought to be, and even go way above that. So football will still get some attention that it deserves. But other sports will be carried along. And I think I have told the team that even if you are selected from a low-grade team, once you are placed on the team sheet, see yourself as the best. Don't feel inferior. Don't feel intimidated. So sometimes the psychology of the play, the person feels like, I haven't reached the levels of Jordan, the Kudus, the this,
right,
the Jikus, and so like even for some balls, I must not go. I must wait and see whether they are asking, they think I should go for it or not. See yourself as Jordan. See yourself as Jiku. See yourself as what? Kudus. See yourself as Party. Any one of them.
Right.
And the parties too should see themselves that they are equal or better than any other person out there.
Right.
Go with that kind of
mindset.
And know that Ghana is behind you. I tell them that, look, as for criticism, if nobody criticizes you, then it means that you are not living in a society. But when you hear that critique, know also that multiply that by 100, and that is how many people who are also saying you're doing good, and let that helps you to move further. And the whole of Ghana is behind you. Despite those concerns that we raise, there are concerns which are genuine, which must come. But don't let it put some fear in you to the extent that you can't perform the way you should.
You can't give up your best. Your thoughts on the Ghana Premier League, sincerely, Honorable Minister?
Well, for whatever reasons, one doesn't know why our Premier League has become the way it has become. To the extent that you sometimes even enjoy Division 1 league than you would have for the Premier matches that are played. You don't see the pack of players that you would really want to follow and watch. Players are willing to leave quickly, and for economic reasons. And so again, government has been working, and this is part of the president's directive that we are working out a model. Because these players, don't forget, are also youth. So the Youth Employment Authority has a program for youth where they are employed and paid something.
Are we going to have a model like maybe youth in sports?
So we have a model like youth in sports,
wow,
where some kind of additional monies will be given to these players, in addition to what their clubs are able to offer them.
Oh, government is going to do that?
Something little will be given them. Look, some clubs don't even pay their players up to 500 Ghana cedi a month.
Wow.
So you can imagine.
And they are playing every time.
They are playing every time. You can imagine if that player gets a deal in any of the neighboring countries.
In Egypt or in Ivory Coast, he's gone.
They'll go. So they are living to war-torn countries because for economic reasons.
Wow.
So we think that if government does this, it will keep these players here longer. And the longer they stay here and play, the more people will go to the stadium to want to watch those players that have stayed on longer. And the more numbers you have at the stadium, the more some corporates who are looking for numbers at the stadium to put in their money will want to put in their money.
You know, Minister, it's interesting. And all of this is also linked up because now you talk sports, but it's linked with education, what you want to do in the schools, is linked with health, looking at lifestyles and well-being. But also the corporate angle. Imagine, there used to be times where sports and footballers, top footballers from Ghana were used as ambassadors. Talk about Abedi Pele featuring in adverts for Fun Milk. Stephen Appiah was doing it for Vita Milk. Now you barely see it, apart from those who are playing outside. But those times we're using, yes.
Yeah. So these are some of the things we would want to, when we sit with the corporates, we will encourage. But for them also, because they are in business.
That's right.
So they want to use somebody who will appeal. And that is why government, and with the support of other corporates, want to create local appealing players so they can be used for such promos.
Interesting. A lot to do. We're going for a break, but that will be in the next 10 minutes. Let's still stay on sports infrastructure. We know poor maintenance, we've talked about it. I was at the Sipon Stadium and even Accra Sports Stadium. Minister, what do we have for these, places?
Truly speaking, we don't have none of our stadia qualifies to be stadium for any serious.
None of us.
No.
Wow.
No.
It doesn't meet international standard.
It doesn't meet at all. It doesn't meet. And we need to do a lot in that direction.
What are you going to do?
Well, again, the president had promised. If you realize in the budget, our ministry was one ministry that was not allocated anything for capex. So the whole idea is to try and get to the big push where funding, because sometimes when they allocate you something and it may not be enough to do what you must do, but because they've allocated you something, you go and do some half work and you leave it hanging, and by the time you get something again to continue, what you did previously is deteriorated. So the idea of His Excellency the President is to try and get enough funding to be able to complete renovations once you start and utilize the place very well so it could even generate enough revenue to maintain itself. So we are going to go to the big push where we will make the case, because the President talked about it and talked about even building new facilities, and the Finance Minister repeated same in the budget presentation. So there we will get something, and we could arrange some also PPPs.
Right.
If it comes to some other sports these days, we are also getting indications from some private persons and corporates who want to build some of these facilities, especially if lands are identified for them.
Okay.
Then again, I want to do something for communities. We are not interested in building like stadium with seats. What all that we want is to have good playing pitches.
Right.
So you don't need to have seats. Just invest in green pitches.
Right.
So you grass the, so if you have between 100 and 200,000 cedis, you can work on a pitch, grass it, drill about 2 boreholes at strategic points so that this grass will be watered all the time, and get them a mower. You don't need to put any seats around, just a good playing pitch so that that player who is training in my village in Tetema, when he is moved to say Dambai, the capital, he will not have any different feel as far as the pitch that he is playing is concerned.
That's right. So the standards will be the same.
The standard will be the same. The only difference will be that in one particular area you have seats.
That's right.
Then in the other one you don't have seats. People who come to watch you will have to stand.
Right.
Then you, the player, who is the key, will have a good pitch to train and play on, whether you are in the village or you are at the city center, you are playing on the beach.
I am happy that you're going to standardize it and it's going to be across. And that's a great one. I have this one from Kofi Sapon, and listening to us in Dansuman, says that certainly, Mr. Minister, football is the most popular sport in Ghana, but how do you plan to address the management issues within the GFA?
So
that's from Dr. Kofi Sapon in Dansuman.
People have raised a lot of concerns about the management in the GFA, and the GFA itself sometimes will admit that there are things they feel have not gone right. And for me, that is what gives me joy. When I engage people and they themselves sometimes see certain things they feel, oh, this didn't go right, it means there's that admission. So the next is, are you prepared to allow people to come in and assist whilst you implement it? So that is the stage we are now with the FA now. That having agreed that, oh, this could have been done this way, that could have been done this way, we are now saying how we can collaborate. Government, the FA and others, and I was speaking to the CAF team that came ahead of the U15 tournament ongoing.
Right.
And they tell me clearly that CAF is prepared to support us technically and in many other ways. So it's something we are working on. As I told some persons who, I said, normally I first see problem. I don't see the human as the problem.
You first see problem.
I see the problem.
Okay.
And think that we should work towards resolving the problem.
So not the human being.
Not the human being. Because.
But what about if the human being is the problem?
Well, if I see that later, because sometimes that human being you see as a problem, maybe there were 10 problems.
Okay.
And that human being had capacity to be able to deal with 7. And has even made some mistakes trying the last 3. But you don't see how good that person is because you are seeing only the 3 problems and not seeing the effort he has put in. If you come and you see him as a problem and you push him off, he will not share with you what he did that he failed in the 3, and will not also share with you how he succeeded in the 7.
Wow.
You may come and you may be able to solve the 3, but you start failing in some of the 7. So we come back to
Kofi Adams, you are
ground
deep.
0.
Wow.
So you need to first identify the problems with them and let them see that can we together solve this problem this way. If in doing so they still insist that no, then you can now treat them as part of the problem.
So many who are saying that, oh, the Okreko administration and all of what is minister doing, you believe that? Look,
I don't have that
That's
as
right.
the approach.
I like
just throw them out because they've done some good things. They've done some good things. Great things they have done.
Right.
But sometimes when people are doing good, we don't see it because we think that, oh, it is normal. Good news doesn't sell. It's only bad news that sells.
Well, what an approach.
So that's been my approach. And I think it's giving some results. And I think that I only plead with Ghanaians. I'm not saying don't continue to criticize, because for some of us, it's the criticism that keeps me awake.
Okay.
That keeps me working. So I love it. I never will run away from it. I love it so much because it keeps me awake. It asks me, it reminds me to look into one thing or the other. So keep the criticism coming, but also give us the opportunity to be able to work to succeed.
So, 2026 FIFA World Cup, I mean, lots of Ghanaians, the expectations for Ghana to qualify is high. What concrete measures are we putting in place? You believe, hand to heart, with where we are, that we'll qualify?
I think that the players are psychologically psyched up and prepared to do a lot more to be able to take away the disgraceful non-qualification to AFCON out of their mind and out of a lot of Ghanaians' mind. So they are working very hard to get our country qualifies for the main event of the World Cup in US of A, Mexico and Canada.
Right.
So the players are psyched up. The technical team itself understands what is at stake. From Coach Otuado through his assistants and then the team psychologists and Badabu. The management team headed by Randy Abe also understand what is at stake. The FA itself understands, and Ghanaians are prepared to give them the support. And they showed it recently when we played against Chad in Accra Sports Stadium.
Right.
And even when we played away in Morocco against Madagascar, they were following as if we were playing in Ghana.
Wow.
So it should tell you that Ghanaians are really interested in giving them the maximum support. So all in all, the situation looks good to enable us qualify. Our next games that we have in September and October, I'm sure in September the 2 games, March 7 and 8, we will win.
Through, right?
Yeah, and it should have given clear
direction
that we are there, and the October appearances will just be for the celebration of it.
We take your word for it, and we are all optimistic. Yes, that we'll get through. We'll be going for a short break, but Jay actually sent in a message, and Jay wants to know from you, Minister. He says that you have raised concerns about sports federations operating like family enterprises. What strategies do you have in place to implement as sector minister to improve governance?
Well, like I said, the first thing is to meet this leadership. A lot of them have had their elections quite recently, so they are having some leadership in place. So we have scheduled, we're supposed to have this meeting on the 28th of this month, but we have had to shift it to the 6th of May. And so we want to have an engagement with them, first and foremost, and to let them see the important role that is expected of them, and that when they improve their governance style, it will inure to their own benefit than running it like some kind of clannish behavior, family father this,
son,
wife this, son this, and that's what is happening. You can, and for some of them, it is just for purposes of travels.
Really?
So if there's a tournament here and we come, then we have to go because it's international tournament, and so by all means, a few people will go through. They will get visas.
Wow.
We shouldn't run our sports for just the purpose of
traveling.
Visa travel. No. It should be because we want to partake in sports as it's been designed to be.
Ghana, your sports minister is here on Starr 103.5 FM. Well, we'll be going for break. When we come back, we'll tell you about Compute Ghana, and they have a sales campaign going on. Also from MTN, we got some amazing news for you, and Starr Assurance. My name is Bola Ray. We'll be right back on Starr 103.5 FM, and we're also in Kumasi on Ultimate FM. We are in Takrady on Empire 102.7 FM. My name is Bola Ray, and the Honorable Sports Minister is our guest here. Well, let me tell you about Easter sales. Well, it's a sales campaign going on till the end of April, and it's only from Compute Ghana. It's the Compute Ghana exclusive Easter sales. Yes, happening now from now to the 30th of April. So hop on to amazing deals up to 50% off when you buy top brands like LG, Samsung, TSL, well, HP, Lenovo, Techno, TCL, Infinix, ITEL, and more. And the best part is that you stand a chance to win big. Yes, you can win an 85-inch smart TV, iPhones, laptops, juicers, rice cookers, and more. So walk into any Compute Ghana branch and shop for products like laptops, printers, mobile phones, televisions, air conditioners, while home theaters are all there at Compute Ghana. We have branches in all shopping malls in Ghana. Compute Ghana is there. Spentex, Oxford, Street, and East Legon. And it's something for you. There's a raffle draw on the 2nd of May, and you could be the lucky winner. Don't let this incredible opportunity slip away. Call Compute Ghana on 0302 752 020. That's 030 2752 020. Or WhatsApp 0243 143 143. And it's MTN Yellow Thursday every Thursday. My people, Thursdays are now extra special on MTN. Yes, your Thursdays just got more exciting because from now on, you get a nice 25% discount on your first data bundle purchase. And you know what? It's just simple. When you bundle on my MTN app or use *138#, this and every Thursday on MTN is saying that that's not enough. For a lovely customer like you, they are offering free extra movie tickets when you pay with Momo at Silverbird Cinemas at Accra and West Hills Mall. And if you're in Kumasi, I've got some great news for you. Garden City, you get free tickets at the Golden Cinemas in the Kumasi Mall, only from MTN. So set your reminders, bundle my MTN on *138# and make the best out of it. Yellow Thursday. I'll be telling you about Starr Assurance and Starr at 40. There's something great, Starr Assurance at 40. But welcome back. Our good friend, our guest, Honorable Minister for Sports, Kofi Adams. Kofi, welcome back. Bro. And we have loads of messages for you. People really like you and your ideas as well. Others are also saying that, well, let's adopt the wait and see attitude. Is it mere talk? Is he going to do it? Let's see.
Well, Larry, I want to tell them that let's not adopt a wait and see attitude.
Okay.
Let all of us come on board.
I love that.
Look, the ministry has opened its arms, and I can assure them that we will do everything that we're talking about. All that we need is to have all of us come on board to develop the talents. My belief and the belief of His Excellency the President is that we are now in the era of growing talents. Look, this is an era where people must feed from their talents.
That's right.
And so he doesn't think that a talent should remain buried anywhere. But we can't do this alone. I can't do this alone sitting here. Yes, I'm the minister. He's the president. But he can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. We have to all come on board. You have created this great platform. You and your other colleagues have adapted and decided. Recently we did the arm wrestling thing.
Fantastic.
And you were there to telecast everything live to everybody who wanted to watch. That is the way sports will continue to get the support that it deserves or it needs. And you are doing it. Others must come on board.
Correct.
And that is, nobody should wait. Nobody should be waiting for somebody else. No. Nobody should sit. If what I'm saying here, maybe after a week, you expect something to be done and you are not hearing it. Even if you are not the one to do it, pick a phone, look for the minister's number and call to find out why this is not happening.
Oh, you're open to that. You're ready.
Without that, we may not. Maybe I will get an explanation. Maybe I need just some 10 CD to do that and I don't have. And he has.
That's right.
But has not found a way to get that 10 CD to me. But through that call, I will be able to tell him that I need 10 CD. This is how it can get to us for us to be able to deal with this situation. So I don't think anybody should wait. Because if we wait and our talents remain buried, then it means that we are burying our country. And others will be picking up and leaving us behind. But we don't want our country to be left behind.
Interesting. So talking about talent development, which I know you are passionate about, I say, look, let's not bury our talent. You mentioned plans to transform the Winneba Sports College into a university for training coaches.
Yep.
How is that initiative progressing?
So far, we've had some levels of engagement. The president have asked that we should go quickly and start working on the documentation, because if you want to really establish a university, it must come with its own statute, and then what have you. You can't just the next moment turn a college into a university. It has to go through some level of processes. So I've been engaging persons who are already involved in sports training and what have you from the universities that are very well established, for them to come out with concept, to come out with papers. So it won't be very long we'll have that, because we need, one way of growing our sports is also to have the right professional training for the various talents at the budding stage. We shouldn't think that, let's wait for the person to reach a certain stage before they start getting some levels of training. It may be too late. And that is why when you go to many countries that are doing very well, you would observe that the best of trained teachers are sent to the foundational level. But we try to do the opposite. We want to keep them at the top, and by the time they reach your level, they have destroyed them, they have spoiled them. They haven't developed the right cognitive skills to be able to pick things and do what is right. The same thing with sports. We shouldn't allow these talents to be destroyed with nutrition. Nutrition alone is the right food.
We should be tactical and
deliberate. The food. And even when you are going to compete, what you must take before you go to compete. You can't take certain foods. Yes. You can't take certain foods to go and perform a particular.
But they need the energy.
No. That energy that you need, you build it way back. Not some few hours to the competition. That's where you want to load.
But some of our boxers will tell you that they need that.
No, you don't have to.
There's the right food.
There's a right food. There's the timing and so on. All these things must be taught, and people must know and apply it all the way down.
Good. Anyway, so yes, we talked about sports and all of that. Let's delve into some politics, and then we'll come to personal life as well, because I know you've worn several hats within the NDC, from spokesperson for the late President Rawlings to national organizer. Which of these roles has been the most defining for you, and why?
If you ask me, I will say my first key role outside of university, which was a branch chairman, for me was what defined.
Okay.
And so anytime I'm introduced, I don't like people who leave out my branch chairman, my branch chairman role in the Adisada village, because I really love that role, and
that's where it started from.
That's where it started from, outside of the university. That's where it started from. And when people came around and saw that this was a graduate, and who is a branch chairman, because at that time it was not, it wasn't common to have a graduate being a branch chair or even at the constituency level, hardly will you see that. And so it gave me quicker promotion. Oh, he can do this. Oh no. So lifting from there to constituency officer to regional officer and all the way now to spokesperson of President Rawlings. But before then, I had become the deputy national youth organizer. And one thing that worked for me the most in terms of party penetration was where I was regional youth organizer, central region.
Okay.
You see, before now, we had University of Education Winneba, which was training teachers, and University of Cape Coast, which was also training teachers. And we had a number of colleges of education in Central Region. And I was the regional youth organizer, and I worked with students in all these places. When they finish school, they get posted to many other communities outside of this region. So because of the relationship we had on campus, it was easier for them to become my ambassadors in those areas. They were also officers. And I did one thing. I was connecting my executives, my team members on these campuses with my colleagues in the other regions.
Oh, you did that?
So, for example, Kweku Buahin,
right,
who became our Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer and later Deputy National Communication Officer, was my team member at UCC. Even though he related Yao Bimpe, who was then the Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer, he didn't have that much space to operate until I mentioned Kweku Buahin to Yao Bimpe, who is now a member of the Council of State. He was then my colleague, Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer. So he adapted him and utilized him there. And it gave him also the opening later to become the Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer. So you can imagine that anything about me in Ashanti Region, Kweku Buahin will push that agenda.
Okay.
The same applied to many other persons across the country at various places. So it became much easier for me anytime I was going to go for anything national.
Okay. That's why you're able to rise to become the national organizer.
You have your Deputy General Secretary, Deputy National Youth Organizer, and all this. That's how it was a bit easier for me.
You had a national presence.
I had a national presence. We just from a little corner without investing so much, just building that little corner is spread for me.
How did you meet
President Rawlings?
Yes, Kofi, tell us this.
This question I've been asked many times, and sometimes I say I'll tell part of it. Part of it will have
Today
to
you
stay.
tell the full story. It's your show.
Well, the first time encounter was when we had this demonstration in 1995, the Mobrowa struggle.
Yeah.
That brought students out from the various university campuses. At that time, Honorable Elvis Efriye was our SRC president, and Newman was NUC's president, was preparing to later to hand over to Honorable Haruna Idrisu.
Yes.
So we had this demonstration. We went to Parliament, we went to Ministry of Education, we went to Ministry of Finance and presented our petition. It was not that violent, but a few things didn't go right. And so he wanted to have engagement. So I don't know who gave my name as one of the persons to be heard. So we were invited, and those times we used to have this engagement at the rooftop Lagos, where lecturers like Dr. Tony Edu and other persons will come and speak to you. Late Dr. Ahiawodo and then the rest, they all come and engage with us. So that meeting was called, and we went, and we told him our mind. We spoke about things that we thought were bothering students. And Bola Ray, let me say one thing too.
Sure.
The good thing in those days was that partisan politics, did not invade the campuses.
Really?
Yes. Government and the party of the day, the ruling party really never showed interest in sponsoring
Are you
candidates.
sure that back then they didn't sponsor Nooks?
Not,
you know,
not at all.
executives,
Not at
SRC?
all. Not at all.
Oh.
So they allowed students to elect the leaders of their choice. Then government will engage those leaders. And because you have elected leaders of your choice, when government engage them and open the books really to you and you have the understanding, you are able to go back and convince them, and your message then ends up being accepted.
Right.
Today we have spoiled all this.
Are you sad?
That I'm very sad. That sometimes
But
when you see
the two big parties are equally guilty.
when you see budgets that students present us for their elections
on campus.
my brother, some of us don't even spend those kind of things or don't talk about those things when we are running our even parliamentary elections.
Really?
Oh, it's bad. It's really gotten bad. So and that time also, Nooks elections was not like this kind of delegate system. It was rotational. UST, as it was then called, KNUST, if it is their turn, you will elect the Nooks president for all of us. Then it will come to University of Ghana. The University of Ghana, the person you elect as Nooks president will be Nooks for all. Then it will go to UCC. The person they elect also will, so these three universities, it was rotating. So for example, Honorable Haruna was not elected by delegates, kind of. It was University of Ghana alone that did the elections. Then he served as Nooks president when it's your turn. But it was good. It worked for us. Today the tertiary institutions have become more. They are private ones, and so now they cannot be rotating. If you say you are rotating, then it will never. So they have to use the delegate system, which is good. But the monetization and the partisan politicization, I don't say it shouldn't it's politics. Right. But the level of partisanship has become so bad. I remember. And you are worried about, but before you go, I'm very worried. Before you get to that, the Rollins, chapter. How? So you was there. You addressed. We met. We engaged. We spoke to the issues, and I think he liked my submission, my submission or my composure, and so I think he marked it down. We continued through. The relationship was there. Once a while, you meet somewhere in a flash at a program, and he had a way of, once he's seen you somewhere, he's able to mark and can recognize you even if you appear at any other place, no matter how distant you were from him. And this was the president of Ghana. The president of Ghana. How did that make you feel? Yeah. Well, I felt so good. I remember the first time I had a phone and he got my number and he had to reach out to me. And one thing about President Rawlings, and which I learned later, was that he didn't consider any time odd to call somebody if he needed to speak to you. And I was later to realize that those times we considered as odd were the best of times to call somebody if you wanted that call to remain in the person's mind for a very long time. Really? Yes. So what time of day is this? So night. Not day. Maybe get it the dawn period. I think around. So he can call you 2 a.m., 4 a.m. He can call you 2 a.m., 1 a.m. and what have you. Wow. And I still remember the portion of my bed where I was sleeping when they called him. I still remember, and I still remember the color of my boxers I was wearing that day. And that call, yes, I have related much closer, received many more calls and what have you. But this particular call, wow. If he had done it in the afternoon, a normal time, I would have forgotten about it by now. Wow. Wow. But I still remember this call. And so I have, in a way, adapted that. Sometimes when I want to call people for something very important, I sometimes intentionally delay and call at the odd times.
We all learn that.
Sometimes call them at that odd time.
And you get results.
You get results because for that person to be awake at that time when I was sleeping, and it was the call that woke me up, and he called me, and the first thing is to find out how you are doing.
What's your reason to sleep?
What's your reason to sleep? What is your reason to say that? So of all the people in this country, at this hour, this person was thinking about me, and he called only to find out how you were doing. He didn't really give you any assignment.
Oh, just to find out
how you were doing.
At 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. Wow.
To somebody may see it as odd, but I kept asking myself, so I was that important to receive a call from this great person
yes.
At this hour that I thought he should be sleeping. He was awake thinking of me. Oh, I have to do anything and everything
for this person.
Wow.
Interesting one. But
and so it continued and continued,
right.
and it continued, and we lost power. We continued struggling around doing the youth forum, and
right.
he became the center of all the remobilization towards the NDC comeback and the disturbances and the boom junction and the Epic Junction issues and what have you all came, and the youth forum in Central Region. I was leading a lot of activities there, and it went on and on and on till he called on me to play a key role. And one thing about him is that at all times, don't deceive yourself and think you are the only one President Rawlings is dealing with.
Oh, really?
No, yes. Okay. So I knew this because whilst others were there, he was also dealing with some of us on the side. Oh, check this for me. Do this for me. Write this. Check this and bring this.
He might have given it to maybe 4 or more people.
More people. And you may think that you are alone. And one other thing he told me later, he says, and if you are constructing an alphabet A to Z, and you think that when he gives you assignment to do A, B, C, and then with some others, you are the only one. In between, he has somebody else doing something, so you don't have a full story. You alone will never have.
You do A to
story.
B.
You do A to B. Somebody will continue, and you do so. You may not know what it is that he's looking for. He just asks you to bring A, B, and C. You don't know what he's going to use it for, because possibly if you get to know, you may kill it. If he tells you alone, Bola Ray, look, I want us to write the alphabets A to Z, so go and collect A up to Z. You may decide to keep M away. So once you keep just one away, he's not able to do what it is. So, bring this, because you don't know what it is that you may quickly run and go and bring it. This one too is bringing this, that one too is bringing this. So no one person will know everything. So whilst I was working with him, I knew. So every time I have to be extra careful to make sure that before you appear before him, you have you have check and double check, and that no matter how bitter the truth is, tell it to him.
Oh, really?
Because he will know it anyway.
Right. Were you afraid of it?
Oh, no. Because I made it a point that, look, I will tell the story as it is.
Without fear or favor.
Without fear or favor. And that was why he liked me. Because he always knew that if I were in a meeting and we are discussing any matter, the issues that must be tabled will be tabled. Unless I decide not to speak.
Did you ever challenge him on certain issues?
I can't call that challenge.
Okay.
Maybe I will say I stated my position.
But
anytime I disagree and state my position, I will still say that he had passed through all these before. Okay, so we'll take his. But in my view, I thought that we should do it this way.
Okay.
He sometimes will disagree. He will go. But later again, he will put a call through and say, Chief, if you haven't done that thing, I think you should do it your way. That your way will work for us. And that's President Rawlings for you. He loved that. Let's sit around the table and share ideas. Don't keep quiet, and then when decisions have been taken, then you go out and be criticizing those things. Or don't hide somewhere alone and then do what it is that you want to do. Or we all sit and agree on something, then you alone will go and be doing something different from what it is we have agreed on. You will have issues with him.
Wow. Putting partisan politics aside, what would you commend President or former President Akufo-Addo for?
Oh, well, as president, he superintended over the country for 8 years. That alone is not an easy thing to do, even though a lot of things were left in a very bad shape, and the results showed.
What would you commend former President Akufo-Addo for?
I'm coming to the results. The results showed that the attempt to continue and expand the implementation of the free education for me was a good thing. But what pained me the most was to try and play it out as if this was not started before him. So I will commend him for
free SHS.
For free SHS. But I thought he could have done it maybe much better. What we are seeing and what we are realizing now shows that even though he meant possibly well as president, he did not monitor the implementation all the way through to the point of what executing it at the very grassroots level. A lot went bad.
Wow.
A lot truly, and that is why leaders must create atmosphere that even in their absence, they will be felt. In other words, your appointees should not only be afraid of you only when you are holding their books looking at. The appointees should know that even whether you are there or not, they must do what it is that you want them to do.
Right.
Don't let them have a certain level of comfort where they decide to do things the way they want, and you now become the one who clears them. And when you do that, you give them too much comfort.
Right.
And they will start misbehaving. I think that was where he got it.
Yeah, you commend President Akufo-Addo for free SHS.
Yep.
You feel that?
Yep.
Well, I mean, we've gotten to know you, where you went to school and all of that, and yes, you were a teacher at one point at Adisado College, getting into politics and all of that. But are you married? Let's get to meet your family. Are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
Oh, really? You've been married for how many years?
20 years.
20 years this year.
Yes.
So you got married in 2005.
Yes.
I think we have something in common. I got married in June 2005. You?
Okay.
Which month?
Mine was February.
Oh, February.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're ahead of me. How is marriage life like?
Well, marriage life is good if you organize yourself well. It won't be a smooth road all through. Like I tell people, even if you are driving on an asphaltic road, there are times when you encounter speed ramps. But the fact that you've encountered a speed ramp doesn't mean that the road is not good. So you have to return from the journey, or you encounter a pothole. It doesn't mean that the journey is bad and so you must return. That is marriage.
Wow.
There's the sweet and there's the sour part of it. But you combine the two and make an excellent relationship and carry on. So marriage is really
three children.
3 children.
Wow.
Marriage is, for me, it organizes you.
Wow. Oh, marriage organizes you.
It organizes you.
Will you recommend
Because
that everybody, given the chance, should get married?
I think so, that given the chance, please get married. Even if you fail, you would have learned something out of it. It's always better than not getting trying at all. But once you succeed,
Right.
it helps to correct a lot of things.
Wow.
Because if for nothing at all, it makes you understand that you have a responsibility at home.
Correct.
And it begins to build you to become a responsible leader in future. When you take your marriage and your family very serious, when anything is placed in your hand, you take it serious. And that is why I want us to preach values and family values. Because when we take our families serious, it becomes easier bringing that to the public domain.
So you are anti-LGBTQ.
Oh, sure, of course.
No.
We don't have to allow that. I'm happy that even in UK, where they allow, recently the court have ruled that when they say a woman, this is what they know a woman to be, and not any other person who present himself in any other form. Or so I'm happy that even those words that we want to copy, themselves are trying to straighten things up. And we discussed this our family values
Right.
law as if it was a law that was going to be entering people's home and be chasing people and be caning people. What it was more was it was even to give protection to these persons, but help to model them and get them to do the right thing rather than what is ongoing. And I thought that we did not take our time to really understand what it was meant to be.
You want it back in Parliament?
Sure, it must come back in Parliament. And I like the idea the president has raised, that he wishes that it comes as a government sponsored bill.
Okay.
And people didn't understand. You know, what happened is that a government-sponsored bill gets discussed virtually every day and every time, if you so want. But a private member's bill will be worked on only in the small time allotted for a private member's bill.
All right. Well, good one. As we try to touch down, let's get to know what kind of music you love to listen to and maybe how you relax.
You played one at the start, and interestingly,
to Bob Marley.
Yes, interestingly, without telling, you played Buffalo Soldier. And Buffalo Soldier was the reason for me loving Bob Marley. And my elder brother, not the first, was actually nicknamed, or do I call it an alias? His alias was Buffalo. That's how his friends called him, because of also his love for Bob Marley and that particular song of Bob Marley.
Right.
So when you played it,
yes, I brought back some memories.
You brought back some
I think
memories.
It's divine. I had some.
I love Bob Marley, and you played exactly
without you telling me.
And so my brother Ben Adams is called Buffalo.
Wow.
That's
We'll play another Bob Marley track for you. We'll use that to end. But you know what? Before we go, also, let's be biased. Ghanaian artists, which one is your favorite? Kofi, I know you love music. We'll get into Bob Marley, but who's your favorite Ghanaian artist in terms of music? Yes.
You want to give me trouble?
No.
But you see,
yes.
I lived in Tema and Ashama Enclave.
Okay. I know where you're driving.
So for someone to emerge from that environment,
yes,
to the world stage, draws me closer to.
And you're talking about Stonebwoy.
I'm talking about Stonebwoy.
Any of his music that you listen to and you say, look, this track, this is it. You know of any? Which one?
Well, not. There's one that he did recently. How do you call it? Is it Anlogan
Junction, the album? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That I loved a lot of the songs that were in there.
Okay.
But I really don't have any specific one that I would say that okay, this is the wow song for me. But I liked him. Shatawale is also another great person. Yeah. He has energy also.
That's right.
He has a lot of energy, and that one, give it to him. He has a way of keeping his audience watching and jamming along with him. I love these two persons, but also I enjoy a lot of gospel music.
Oh, okay.
Also.
You're into gospel music.
Yeah, I love a lot.
Who's
of
your favorite gospel musician?
No, don't take me.
But if you enjoy, you should know at least one.
No, don't.
Which gospel?
Don't.
No, who's your favorite gospel music? You love gospel music. Who do you love to listen to?
Because I love
you don't know
worship.
Okay.
Jack Alolome is one because I love worship a lot, and so I love to listen to his music. I don't like the very hot the one Ghanaians describe as praise for praises.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that one. I
like
love
to
the worship one. So
wow.
Jack Alolome carries me all through very, very well.
Interesting. Well, it's now time for our mystery questions, and we have our bull right here. Please, yes.
I have listened to many people who have come before you, and then they missed it. I said I wish they didn't pick.
They didn't pick. No problem.
Let me pick the one that is facing me.
Yes. So you're picking all three anyway. So let's see.
I should pick all the three.
So the first one, yes. What do we have in there? Yes.
What's one thing people often misunderstand about Kofi Adams?
Yes. What's that one thing that people...
Well, there are some people who says that I'm not friendly.
Really?
Yes.
Because maybe you are calm, you're reserved.
Exactly, because...
But they should meet you because Kofi is a different being.
Yeah. You see, I need to get into you, and if I have to have conversation, I would have. But
that's right.
They always misunderstand me. Sometimes minding my business has not been friendly.
Okay. So people feel that Kofi Adams is not friendly.
Yeah.
The next mystery question will be, yes. Correct. And what's the question?
Imagine the Black Stars qualify and go on to win the World Cup. How will you celebrate that historic achievement?
Yes, how would you?
Look, I would arrange a flight that has first class seats enough to carry all the players.
But President Mahama says no first class. But
no, this one, when they win the World Cup, I'll tell Mr. President, for this one, we are defying the order.
Really?
Yes,
we are defying. Fly first class.
They will fly first class, and we are
not just sports. They are not just flying first class. What will you do again?
After that,
yes,
we will tour every district in this country.
Just by qualifying, you tour every.
No, and they win.
Yes, they go on to win the World Cup.
To win the World Cup.
Yes.
We will visit every district to celebrate with them.
Every district?
Every district.
Wow. No constituency, no region.
Constituencies. Every district will visit.
Should the Black Stars qualify and go on to win the World Cup?
Look, we will bring other Africans on board to celebrate with us. We will visit many other countries.
That would be really.
And to invite them to come to Ghana. That first African country that won the World Cup is Ghana.
It's Ghana.
And we must celebrate it.
Indeed.
The last one.
Yeah, the last one. And what do we have there? That will be the last one. So what do we have in there?
Finally, what would you like to say to the young people listening to Star Chat tonight?
Correct.
The get rich quick mentality and the abuse of drugs is something the young people must keep themselves off. Look, there is no means of getting rich quick. You must go through the processes. If you see Bola Ray and you see his life and you think that you want to be,
they don't know.
You must listen to the story, the journey, what he has gone through. He didn't just wake up and then became who he is. He's gone through a process. So young people must be allowed to be mentored, and they must understand that there's a journey. They must listen to those who are taking them through the mentoring process very, very well, and not begin to think that they can become like them overnight.
Interesting.
If you are roasting plantain and you put too much fire, it will burn and you will not have roasted it.
Wow. Interesting. And yes, we'll be playing your Bob Marley song for you. But Course says that I know he's not the youth minister, but I wish he can go because of sports to tour some of these schools and encourage and motivate our young ones. Great interview, Bola Ray. Well, thank you very much, Course, from Cantonments. So we're going, DJ Mono, what do we have for the minister from Bob Marley? But I would like to say a very big thank you to you, Honorable.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. It's been great, and
you
know, we'll come back to you. We'll take you on. We'll query you. We'll ask the relevant questions, and we know you will deliver.
But I want you to help me. especially
you
with
have
the
my
sports
support.
fan, with the sports fan thing.
I'm on board.
You are,
We'll
you are
help
always on board.
You know, our network of friends and all of that to donate and support.
Thank you.
But thank you, and we wish you the very best. May God be with you. Of course, go ahead of you and do greater stuff. Thank you very much. And we're playing the tune for you.
Yes.